What's up? Good morning, guys. We are out here. It is 9:03 in the morning. I'm doing some work right now. I've got an email teed up that I'm going to be sending out to, probably 200 or so leads today. But before I did that, I wanted to kind of speak to you about how I made seven figures in what was actually 8 months. In my ninth month, but in 8 months. So I started in February. It's still October right now, so haven't quite made it into the ninth month, or 9 months just yet. But I've already passed the seven-figure mark, and it honestly it wasn't that hard. Is what I'm trying to get at here. Everybody will start a business, and everybody worries about going from 0 to 1 million or 0 to 10 million or anything like this. And all you really need to do is move the needle from 0 to 1. And that's not that difficult. So what you need to do is just find the smallest incremental change that you can make, that gets you closer and closer to your goal. So for me, it wasn't anything about, a revenue mark. It wasn't anything about a profit mark. It wasn't anything about this. It was about how do I go from 0 customers to 1, because that was the smallest change that I could make, which was going from 0 to 1. Because, one customer in any business, if you go based off of LTV, lifetime value, they could make you $1 million just on their own. So, especially in this business and logistics and transportation, it's a repeat business as long as you're, working with customers that, have repeat freight and repeat orders. So me knowing that going in, I just wanted to go from 0 to 1 because I knew that that would get me somewhere, and it would at least get me confidence to get off the ground. And then it was really just proof of concept. Once I had 1 being out on my own, I could get 2, I could get 3. But I just wanted to kind of speak to you about like the 3 things that I did that, well, maybe not the 3 things, but the few things that I've done here that made me go from 0 to 7 figures in 8 months time. And it's really not that difficult. All I did was I knew my target market by research. I also worked in this industry beforehand, but I knew my target market. And then I picked up my phone, called them, and I got their email addresses. And then I just reached them through email, I reached them through call, and sometimes I shot them text messages. And because of that, I made a 7-figure company within the first year. I don't know how easy that sounds. That is as simple as it was. Obviously, there's a little bit of nuance in that. The processes were a little bit different, like some people I spoke to numerous times, some people I spoke to once, some people I never spoke to at all. It was just email. But for the most part, it's really just that simple. I researched companies that were in my target market that I knew that I wanted to help or that I could help. I reached out to them. I found out who the proper person was, and I either called them directly or I emailed them directly. And then I just spoke with them through email or on the phone, and I just made things really, really easy and really simple for them and for me. This process doesn't have to be complicated. Nothing about business has to be complicated. Business is actually incredibly straightforward. We, as people, complicate it. We want it to be perfect. And there's something true to the fact that IQ will always get beat by I do. So, you can be an absolute moron. I'm not the smartest person in the world. And I've worked for companies before, and I just kind of saw that there's a need in the market space for one person who cares to reach out to these shippers. And I cared a lot, and I was working for somebody else also caring a lot, and I was building my business but under their umbrella. So I stepped away from that to build my business underneath my own umbrella. And it's not complicated. We complicate it, we mess it up. We want to think that there's some special formula out there, and there's just not. Work is the formula. There's nothing that will replace just making the touches. When it comes to sales, all you have to do is speak to somebody. You can speak to them through a call, email, text, LinkedIn, social media, anywhere. But as long as you're speaking to somebody and you're having conversations, conversations lead to a conversion. So if you can get someone on the phone, or you can get someone to reply to your email, or you can get someone to do any of these things, you're probably going to end up in a pretty good position one day. And figuring out how to do that is one way. You know, you can just pester people and people tell you, you know, like piss off, or you can just be a real human. And you know, in this new age of AI taking over everything, being a real human and separating yourself through, you know, your own personal experiences, who you are, your personality, you know, just actually trying to be interested in somebody opposed to just like spewing what you do. It's people try to be so perfect in this, and they try to find the perfect thing to do, and you know, they suffer from paralysis analysis where they overthink something. God damn. Where they overthink something and then they just simply don't do anything, or you know, they just try to make it all perfect, so they end up sounding very robotic. Just don't care. Just reach out. If you know that you can help, someone is going to be receptive to your message. You know, there's someone for everybody in the world. And truthfully, when it comes to doing business with people, there's more than one person for every vendor. And there's more than one vendor for every person. So you don't have to be perfect and buttoned up and, you know, say everything exactly as it needs to be said. You know, eventually your message is going to stick and the right people will find it. So that's how I went from 0 to 7 figures in an 8 months time. It was very simple. It's very straightforward. It takes work. It takes time. It takes persistence. But if you have all of those things and you play the long game and you just do the things each day, you're going to turn out perfectly fine. And you're probably going to turn out in a way better spot than you ever expected for. And that's all I can say to you. But that's the message that I have for you. I hope you take it with more than a grain of salt. I hope that you actually just put in the work. I hope that you don't sit there and overthink things. I hope that you just move forward, you learn, you adapt, and you just continue to iterate until it all falls into place for you. I hope you nothing but success. I'm going to get back to work, but I hope that you enjoy it. Leave a like down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what kind of business that you work in or you're looking to start. I'm always interested to hear what people are doing, and I'm also looking to find more people who are into entrepreneurship because it's a very lonely world. But I hope you enjoy it, guys. Subscribe for more videos or following along in my daily business building because I will keep posting. But take care.